So part 2 of our midterm review, and today we're going to start talking about properties of exponents. So remember, this is all the different rules that you have to follow when you have exponents. So when you are multiplying two bases that are the same, what do you do with the exponents? Multiplying, you add. So we're going to write the base one time, and then we just add the exponents. So 4 plus 6? 10. And that's it. When you divide, you would subtract the exponents, but I just realized I didn't put one of those on your exam, so you don't have to worry about that for this one. All right, so number 17. When you have an exponent on another exponent, what do you do?
Subtract.
Nope.
No, you add.
Multiply. When there's an exponent on an exponent, we're going to multiply those two. So 3 times 3 is?
3 times 9.
9. Okay, so again, we just write the base one time, and then we write the multiplication of the exponents. Okay, so I wrote number 18 as well, which is just like 17, except there's a number in front of the variable. So what that means is that exponent has to go on that number and on that other exponent, okay? So what is 4 to the third power? Okay, so 64, 4 to the third power is 64, and then again I'm multiplying 3 times 2. So I'm going to write my variable once, and then 3 times 2 is 6.
First hour or second
Oh, it's always first hour,
hour? No.
Yeah.
usually.
I mostly had it in second
Oh, interesting. We're having a fire drill discussion. Anyway, we're predicting one today. So number 19. Oh my gosh, sorry. Number 19. When you have an exponent to the 0 power, what does it always equal?
0.
1. Good remembering, Kadeja. So anything to the 0 power is going to be 1. You could have 4 billion to the 0 power, and it's going to equal 1. And then the last one is negative exponents. So how do I get rid of a negative exponent?
Just turn it into a positive.
You do turn it into a positive, but how?
Just use negative.
You write it with a 1 on top. And once you push that variable to the bottom, the negative goes away, and you just have a positive m to the 8 on the bottom. Okay? Always a 1 on top. Hold on. All right, so for scientific notation, there's only 2 questions on the exam about scientific notation. And I just want to refresh your memory that when you see a very small number like this decimal, the exponent is going to be positive or negative?
How do you get the 10 from 10 zeros, right?
Negative. So when you write scientific notation, it's always times 10 to the something. Yeah. So when you see a very small number like this decimal in number 21, it's going to be a negative exponent. When you see a very big number like number 22, it's going to be a positive exponent. So I'm just going to write that there to remind you. And then we're going to go ahead and make it into scientific notation. So my goal is to make a number that's between 1 and 10. So if I move my decimal to right there, now I have a number that's between 1 and 10. 4 falls between the numbers 1 and 10. So now I just count how many times I move that decimal over, and that's my exponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we put the decimal to make it a number between 1 and 10, and then we count how many spaces we move the decimal. So for number 22, if I want to make a number between 1 and 10, where will I put my decimal?
Between 7 and 6?
Yes, good. So I'm going to put my decimal right there, and I'm going to make 7.63 And then I'm just going to count. Remember, I always have an imaginary decimal sitting right here at the end of a number like this. So I'm just going to count how many times I moved it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I moved it 9 times. The next section is on equations out of chapter 3-1. So we're just solving equations here. So remember, you look at what's happening to the variable and you do the what? Opposite. Yes, good. So next to y, I see it's a +7. So I'm going to do what?
-7.
-7. And whatever I do to one side, yep. And those cancel. So I'm just left with y here. And 12 minus 7 is 5. You're going to need a calculator for 24. So 24, same thing. It's just decimals now, so don't let the decimal scare you. What is happening to the v?
Just gonna be dropped out.
I see plus happening to the v, so I'm going to do what?
You're going to subtract 0.16.
Yeah. Good. Minus 0.62, and those cancel. And I'm left with v equals how much?
12.96.
12.96. Good. All right, and then number 25 has a couple of things happening, so we're just going to take it one thing at a time. What do I do first? Plus 8 first.
There it is.
Okay, we're going to have a safety drill, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so you can wait in here with if you shut her door. You want to do that? Sorry. We had a fire drill, so now class is over. But I just want to finish these 2 problems for you guys, and then we'll be done with this for today. So those 2 cancel out, and I get 5x equals 85. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So the 5's cancel out, and I'm left with x equals 117. And then the last one is a fraction. So whenever I have a fraction with my variable, I need to flip it and multiply. So I'm going to do that to both sides, because whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And what happens is these 2 cancel out. And then remember your imaginary 1. 10 times 6 is 60. And 1 times 5 is 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and break that down completely. So 60 divided by 5 equals 12. All right. And that's all for today, and we'll do more review tomorrow and Monday, and if we have more to do on Tuesday, we'll do more Tuesday, okay? Copy all these in your math journal and watch again if you need to.